Hey everyone, welcome to your Capricorn Super New Moon reading that's going to be happening on January 2nd of 2022. So first of all, Merry Christmas. These are coming out on Christmas Day, so if you celebrate Christmas, a very Merry Christmas to you. And I'm excited for this reading because I'm going to do a reading for each of the zodiac signs. But first of all, I just want to talk about, it being a new moon is all about a new beginning that's coming about and perfect for a new year, the start of a new year. So we have that new moon energy coming in, but as I mentioned, it's a super new moon as well, which a super moon is, like the Earth, the trajectory of, or the orbit of the moon around the Earth is not like a perfect circle. So like, let's say if this was the Earth, it's more of an oval shape. So when it's close to the Earth and when the full moon happens, it's a super new moon because it is actually closer to the Earth. It's not like significant where it's like, super, super close, but it's closer than it is normal. So it appears bigger than it normally would. That's why it's called super. But it also impacts like the tides and impacts our emotions. Usually moons impact our emotions anyway, but when the orbit is closer to us, it is even more amplified. It's even more influential. So just be aware of that. And of course, this is going to be the Capricorn New Moon, which I'm going to talk about the influences of the Capricorn energy around the new moon here in just a moment. But it's also, I wanted to mention that there is this cyclical, like there's always a cycle of a new moon to a full moon, back to a new moon every 28 days or so. But there's also the signs rotate about every 6 months. So like this new moon in Capricorn is the ending of a cycle of when it was in a full moon in Capricorn, which was back on June 22nd of this year. So if you look back in June of the 22nd and see what was going on around that period of time, the endings that start to happen as the light moves away from the full moon to the new moon is the letting go of things. It's the changing of things. So from the last new moon before that up to the June 22nd full moon in Capricorn, there was growing, there was, amplification, forward progression in whatever seeds you planted on that new moon in Capricorn before. And then you get up to the full moon, and then the full moon to the next new moon is about the changes that you make to prepare for this new moon coming up. So if you want to kind of look and see what has been falling away or changing since June 22nd up to this point, that'll also give you an idea on, what's going on there. All these cards are from this deck here too, just in case some people have asked. Moonology Oracle cards. So if you love these, it has a great little book that comes with it that really goes into the influences and some of those things as well. But for the Capricorn new moon, again, it's a time for like this newness that is coming in. The energy is so perfect to set like new goals and make new concrete plans, even take a step or two towards those plans, especially if it's towards your professional life. And if you're like have something that you're doing as a dream that you're doing on the side, it could even be about how making that your profession, your career, instead of just a hobby and something that you love to do on the side. Because the time is ripe for new, improved work cycles. And so it brings this ambition, this feeling and energy to build, and really a lot of energy to put in a lot of hard work. So it's a good time to like make a list of your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions, your intentions for the year ahead. And you can even have like a little mantra that says something like, the harder I work, the more blessed I get. And so this does have a lot of work energy behind it, as far as you feel motivated. You do want to do the work and invest it to get what you want to do. So it's a great time to, put those plans together and make a movement forward. But we're going to dig into each of the individual zodiac signs for more specifics for you. And we're going to jump into that reading right now. All right, on my Pisces, this is your Capricorn Super New Moon reading. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from these Queen of the Moon Oracle. And this is going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about the 3-week period around this new moon. That'll be the week before and the 2 weeks after this new moon. So, Creator, for our Pisces, what would you like them to know about this period of time? This period around this new moon, please. Okay, that one right there. Do you have blossoming? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That is card number 33, which is a very powerful master number. It's really about your ability, which makes sense with you being, for Pisces, is it's you realize your ego human side of life, and you're really connected, of course, to your spiritual side of life, but it's about walking hand in hand with them. A lot of times, I have a lot of Pisces on my chart, so I definitely understand. I've got like 4 or 5 planets, and so I understand, it's like this, it's almost like this night and day, black and white that we go into. We're either in our human side in fear, or we're, extremely in our spiritual side. And so learning that balance is a beautiful thing in life, which is what the 33 does, is it allows us to not have this battle raging within us. With black and white, we bring it all together into this beautiful sea of gray, and our higher self walks with our human self, and we get to experience life in a whole new way. So I love that. And this says, do not give up. You have planned for this. Take no notice of what others think or say about you. Open and rise. Someone around you may be jealous of your success, so mark your victories. The affirmation for this card is, I joyfully blossom and I feel no fear. In the country in which I live, which is the author, there really aren't a lot of meadows, that classic kind of gently rolling open space, often between a forest or mountains. And this kind of space whispers to you, here, rest a while. Lay down, my friend, it's soft. The first true meadow that she saw was at Yosemite National Park in the United States. It was early spring, the snows had pretty much stopped, and nature had taken her opportunity. In front of her, as far as she could see, was a green meadow of grasses covered in blossoming flowers, and it was so beautiful it almost made her cry. She just stood there for a long while, taking it all in, and it felt so hopeful and new and joyful that she felt hopeful and renewed and joyful. She walked into the meadow and was soon surrounded by this blossoming, and the flower fragrance drifted up with the breeze. There was a dusting of pollen on her clothes. She could hear the contented buzzing of a few insects, and in that moment she was so grateful to be part of the meadow. Anything seemed possible there. There is a time to blossom. We plant seeds physically and metaphorically, so they will blossom into what we intend. Perhaps the journey has been a long and hard one, but we shouldn't give up, especially if we are close. Fear is usually the thing that prevents flow and blossoming. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, fear of what people will think. Yeah, those are very popular for of those, aren't they? She says, I could go on, but I know if we can release the useless fears and begin to enjoy our growth and eventual blossoming, it will all be worthwhile. And the companion stone for this is ruby. So I love that. We've got a lot of red going on here as well. We're also going to pull some cards here from the Revelations Tarot and just see what else the Creator wants you to know for each of the 3 weeks around this new moon. We're going to pull cards for the week before, the week after, and the second week after. So we'll have 3 piles here, or 3 selections. So the week before, okay, the week before this new moon, okay, and I feel like this one too. And then the second week, or the week after the new moon. Got that one and that one. Yep, and all these. Okay, they want this one for the week after. I feel like there's one more card for there too, though. It's like 3, 3, and 3. Okay, there it is. I always want to do things uniquely, and so we just go along. So the week before the new moon, you got the 7 of Swords. And the swords are all about your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And usually the 7 of Swords can be looked at as like a thief or someone who is deceiving you. But because these are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, this is really about you discovering those mindsets that are deceiving you. So where in your life is there a belief that is not true, that you've been believing for a long time, that you're ready to let go of? And so I love that. And actually, I love these revelation cards because they have like, this is the burdened feeling. And this is when you release those, you have this very peaceful feeling, which we're going to swap that around, because that's the energy that you're bringing into this week, is that you're realizing really a core belief, or a very strong belief you have in something, that you're ready to let go of. One of those supposed tos, one of those shoulds, one of those have tos, one of those need tos, and you're letting that go because you're realizing it during this week. Yeah, because then you have the 9 of Cups. Cups are our emotions. They're the water element, which is what you are. But the 9 of Cups is about finding this contentment of your emotions from within you, not from the outside, but from within you, because the 9s are all about self-realization, not isolation, but it's like the Hermit. The Hermit card is number 9. It's about you taking time, like your own little temple, and you're finding what you're looking for within you. And so this beautiful, it's like a wish fulfillment. It's this loving feeling that you're finding within you, which is spawned and sprouted and sparked because of this belief that you're letting go. So this belief is what has been holding this emotion back for you. Yeah, because here you go, you got the Chariot, which is beautiful, because the Chariot is this beautiful, I keep on saying beautiful, I know, I guess it's the blossoming, all the beautiful flowers. But it's about your power of choice. And this is what tells you that no matter what you're going through in your life, no matter what circumstances, no matter what actions are happening around you, you get to choose what story you apply to that situation. You get to choose what emotion you feel around that situation. And this belief is going to be rooted in this, what we've been told all our life, that no, you don't decide, that when this happens, this is what it means. When this happens, this is how you're supposed to feel. And so these expectations, all this, have been pushed on you all your life, and reinforced, and you've been conditioned through praise and punishment with it, that you don't even feel like you're making a choice anymore. It's your habit, it's your reaction. So something happens, you feel this way, something happens, you think this is what it means. But this energy that's coming in with this questioning of that belief, going, wait a minute, is that really true? Do I really have to feel that way? Because there's other people that go through that situation that don't feel that way, or have that story they apply to it. So it must not be the circumstance that determines what it means and what emotion you're going to feel. It's the person going through it that gets to decide. And so this is very empowering for you. You're really getting this beautiful awareness. And this is a 7, and that's a 7 too. So I really feel like this is the truth that helps you choose this happiness, this inner contentment. And then the new moon hits, and then this is what happens the week after the new moon. Yeah. You have the 9 of Cups. You have the 10 of Cups. So this is like you fill up with this, and then it actually overflows out to the world. So you are just so joyful, so full of this beautiful, loving energy that people are just like, what? Oh my gosh, what, you're glowing. And I love this, energy that you have in it. And so it's beautiful. And this actually even reminds me of, in the middle here, the 2 fishes of the Pisces too. So I love that. I'm going to put the cups next to the cups there. And then you have the Death card, which don't freak out about this, because I'm going to put this down here by this, because this is endings and new beginnings. So you're having a significant end in your life it could be your old way of thinking. It could be because of this realization and this power of choice. You could be ending a relationship or ending the relationship as it was. So maybe you realize the relationship is toxic for you and you're like, you know what? I don't need that anymore. I don't even want it. I'm out. And you can do that. And it doesn't need to be a romantic relationship. It can be family, friends, work, whatever it might be. But it also can be that you're like the relationship as it is, it needs to die, and we're going to have a rebirth of our relationship, so you don't have to leave somewhere. It also can be leaving a job or leaving a position at a job to a different position. It could be education, choosing a new type of education that you're in, abandoning or leaving an old major you're doing or something, or ending in old ways that you were doing something and getting new training in something. And it can be also doing something, a rebirth within your body, a rebirth within your possessions. So it could be you're moving somewhere else, or it could be that you're getting rid of stuff and you're purging and cleansing, that type of stuff. So definitely this positive ending along this lines here for you. So you're definitely, in doing that, this is what's making it even flow even more. So you are learning a lot this week, but it's like this is when you make that change, and then you feel even more overflowing with these beautiful emotions. Yeah, and you have the 3 of Cups, that celebration. It's the party card. It's like, woohoo! So definitely this beautiful joy coming in for all that. This also has a special meaning from my posse on the other side from Spirit, and this represents your spiritual support team on the other side, your guardian angels and angels, your spirit guides, your loved ones on the other side, your ancestors, the Creator, Spirit, Holy Spirit, whatever you believe those beings of unconditional love and light are on the other side. This is them saying that you can tune in. Being in this place of joy and unconditional love and peace and laughter, that is the frequency at which they speak. And so this is where you're able to hear from them and just know that they're there. So if you really embrace this and make this change, you actually can hear from those beings on the other side. And that brings you into the second week after. And you have the 2 of Swords. So yeah, the swords are all about, like we talked about, your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, etc. The 2 of Swords is that you can make decisions in 2 different ways. One, from the conditioned human ego shadow side, the logic and all that, expectations, or your higher self, your powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, because they have the moon here, which shows about you connecting to your higher self, trusting your intuition, your gut, connecting to that beautiful love. And so when you're making the decisions, they're like, yeah, connect to us, talk to us, make decisions from a place of unconditional love, not from fear, because you've already done that. When you do what you always did, you get what you always got, right? And you're ready for something new. And then you have the 2 of Cups. So yeah, definitely this is about emotional decisions too. Again, you got a 2 and a 2, and this is for 2022, right? Really getting to know and connect with your higher spiritual side of yourself, and that whole, you don't have to fight with one another. When I was talking about with this number 33, this is your 22. This is your connecting to your spiritual side and then moving into this bonding together. So I love that. Yep. And then you have the Tower. And don't be afraid of this. This is, again, continuation of endings. Something's ending and being removed to make room for something else. And there's this beautiful message that comes from this. It kind of starts with the Wheel of Fortune story. And that is that you are this higher being, that before you come down here, you choose that, okay, this is the avatar or the character that I'm going to play. This is when I'm going to enter the game. This is when I'm going to leave the game. And these are all the fated events that I want to experience in this life. But within each of those circumstances, the Chariot is that you get to choose what story you apply to any circumstance and choose what emotion you're going to feel, like we talked about. And so you do that, and that changes and transforms you from feeling like your life is this out of control drama train that's about to dramatically leap off the tracks and dramatically explode as it goes into a gorge, and it transforms, and you realize all these fated events are happening, and you get to choose it. That it's more that you're on like this monorail train, like at Disney World, where the train is actually attached to the tracks. It's very smooth. It has its stops exactly on time for, its little journey. And so it transforms you and changes this outlook that life is happening to you and that you're a victim in life, but that life is happening for you. And it's beautiful, right? And so we already talked about that. Well, the Tower comes in that you have these fated events that have been in your life, and the Tower can be a relationship that you've been in, whether romantic, family, friends, work, with a fur baby or a feather baby. It could be a job, it could be, education, it could be your body, it could be your possessions, it could be your bank account. Any of that, whatever's been going on has been in your life on purpose, for a purpose, because you've been wanting to experience these things. Well, in order for you to continue to experience this other new stuff that you wanted to, this thing needs to be removed to open the way for it. And as I was talking, and if you are listening to Spirit and you're on that level, like we were talking about, you can actually hear the countdown before this lightning bolt strikes the Tower to burn it down. So you'll hear the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can choose to leap out of the Tower instead of remain in the Tower to get the electric shock treatment. So you can remove that thing out of your life earlier as you hear the countdown happening. And it's very empowering, because I know sometimes this Tower card will show someone leaping out and someone getting blasted out. So don't, judge yourself if this thing is removed for you out of your life during this second week after the new moon, because a lot of us want that experience, that we like that shock treatment. We want to experience everything right up to the last second. And so don't judge yourself or go, oh, I could have removed it earlier. It's like, yeah, you could have, but you didn't. And that's okay. There's no judgment, no foul, right? So I love this. So because of all this, you understand that life is happening for you. You're releasing an old belief, and this is just sparking this higher, you are definitely blossoming like the seed. You're getting rid of the weeds and stuff out to where you're really blossoming, and making this beautiful, beautiful next step into this journey that you're on. But definitely this message of communicating to the higher realms is definitely throughout here as well. So I love that. All right, well, I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings for for each zodiac sign, weekly readings for each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc., and a few other types of readings throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified immediately when they become available, if you haven't done so already, just click the subscribe button down below. That's going to make this notification bell pop up. If you click on that, then it'll take you to your settings and you can choose to be notified immediately. Also, if you're enjoying these videos and you want to help share the love and share the messages, if you just give this video a thumbs up or like, then that just helps the YouTube algorithm make these suggested videos and share with other people. So if you feel so inclined to do so, there's never any pressure. But if you do, I greatly appreciate that. All right. Well, just know as you're going throughout this journey of every second and every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing 3-week adventure around this new moon, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But until then, you take care.